Hi everyone. When we want to talk about secondary sources, we will need to either quote, paraphrase, or summarize that material. To start, how do you know which one you should use? Why can't you just directly quote everything or copy and paste from other sources? Well, for most research writing, quotes actually aren't common. Paraphrases and summaries are preferred. Check out this table about how material is referenced in academic writing. It shows that most academic writing is indeed summaries and paraphrases. Why these? This is because quotes are only used when you want to maintain that original language. The word choice and its phrasing is just too precise, too accurate, and too important to modify. If you did change it, the meaning would be lost. Paraphrases, however, are focused on the content or result, rather than that language and style. The reader doesn't need to sift through words and vocab. The focus is on the main takeaway or a specific data point. Lastly, summary is for when you have a lot of information, but not all of it is important. You save the reader time by digging out the important gems or critical points. In this way, when you talk about your secondary sources, you are more focused on the content and results than you are on the style it was written in. Quotes would be more appropriate with literary analysis. Let's practice this some more. Here are 7 scenarios. Would you quote, paraphrase, or summarize these sources? So take a minute to go through that. Now that we've defined these differences, I want to focus on summaries. There's such thing as a bad summary. I'm sure you can recall a time when someone was going on and on about a story. They're giving way too much detail, getting distracted, going on tangents, and just losing the plot. I think this comes from a place where we think the more information we provide, the more convinced or involved our listener is. But that's not true. It can have the opposite effect. Your listener is a competent person, so show some respect in your summaries by striving to be efficient and concise. You might have learned some strategies for summarizing, such as write a sentence for every paragraph, or answer who, what, when, where, why. These, though, produce lengthy summaries that get full of fluff. A better strategy would be to just use IMRAD. Make a mini IMRAD. Start first with crediting the authors. Names are very important in research, so we like to forefront them in our summaries. After, tell the reader the author's first purpose or goal, or their research question or inspiration. This will set the context and scope. Next, introduce the method, what the researcher did, like their field research method, or the types of sources they reviewed, or the action they took. Then, end on the results and discussion of that research, specifically the most relevant or impactful finding. After you've summarized, you will always need to end on a citation. No page number is needed for a summary, since you are covering the entirety of the piece. This type of summary gives the reader the essential information. I do note, sometimes summaries do include quotes, such as the results or purpose section. When you do that, you would need to cite with a page number there as well, as at the end of the paragraph. Want some more examples? My first example I like to use is actually from SpongeBob. In the story of the Ugly Barnacle, Patrick actually sort of follows IMRAD. So if you look up that clip, could you spot all the parts of IMRAD? Next, there's a series on YouTube by UCF titled Research in 60 Seconds. These are great examples of how researchers at the university focus on purpose, methods, and results when describing their research. Try to check out a few. They're only 60 seconds. Lastly, I see great summaries on TikTok. It's a fun genre as you can quickly get updates on current studies and articles. I usually see these videos tagged research news or science news. Try to find one yourself. But here's one I've saved recently or came across on my For You page from, I think it's Edgy Learning, which was an interesting article. The big takeaway with summaries is to be concise and efficient. Spoil the ending and findings. Jump right into the content. Your reader doesn't need as much context as you think they do.